And Genesis chapter 31, verse number 3. I'm not going to be long, I promise. I'm going to do my best. But I have a word for you. I have a word for someone today. Genesis 31 and 3, and I'm going to read it out in the New Living Translation. Genesis, the first book of the Bible. If you can't find Genesis, then we in trouble. Then the Lord said to Jacob, return to the land of your father and grandfather and to your relatives there, and I will be with you. Now watch this. We're going to go to Genesis chapter 35, and we're going to read that verse. I'm going to skip around because it's too much to read all of this. In Genesis 35 and 1 says, then God said to Jacob again, get ready and move to Bethel and settle there. Build an altar there to the God who appeared to you when you fled from your brother Esau. Let's go to verse 3. We are now going to Bethel, where I will build an altar to the God who answered my prayers when I was in distress. He has been with me wherever I have gone. Here's the last verse, 35 and 27. And I'm going to put it all together. So Jacob returned to his father Isaac in Mamre, which is near Kiriath Arba, now called Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had both lived as foreigners. Give me just a few minutes to talk to you about, listen, divine settlement. Divine settlement. In the world that we live in, there's a few definitions we have when it comes to the word settlement or settling. And here's a few words or definitions that come to mind when we talk about the word settling. The first thought that comes with that word settling is an agreement is being made to resolve a conflict or dispute. Anybody know what I'm talking about? We're going to settle this in court. So the first word when you talk about settling, it has to do with the world, is you're talking about we need to make an agreement. Two sides need to come together. We need to talk about it, what we're going to be able to take or deal with, decide what we can live with and what we can't live without, also that we both can come to a resolution where we're both happy. So that's the first definition of a settlement or settling. Now here's another definition of settling. Another definition of settling is going to a place. Okay, sometimes it's inhabited, sometimes it's not inhabited, so that you can get there so you can establish yourself. Anybody ever heard of that settling? Where I'm moving to another city and I'm settling over there. I'm moving to a new job. I got a new baby in the house. I'm settling into a new place. I'm settling into a new lifestyle. I'm settling into a new position. And so that's another definition when we think of the word settling or settlement. Okay? Here's the last one, and these are all God's definitions. These are all definitions that we know of in this world. The last definition is when we talk about settling or a settlement is someone who stays in one place or one job or with one person rather than moving on and changing when they need to. So there's three kind of settlings we have, right? We're going to settle a dispute, or we're going to go settle in a new city, or thirdly, we're going to settle in a situation with a person or a thing that we shouldn't be settling in. The last one is where I want to focus at. Settling in a place or with a person or in a situation rather than moving on when you need to move on. I know nobody in here has ever settled for something less than they should. But I'm just talking to people who know what I'm talking about. This last one is placement. You know, you are not where you are supposed to be. God has a greater destiny and blessing that's prepared for you somewhere else. You're stuck maybe in an industry that you are unfulfilled in. You hate your job. Anybody ever been there? It's been time for you to move forward by faith, and you're just holding on for the wrong reason, and you're refusing to let go for the right one. Someone is maybe unwilling to let go of a relationship that they need to because it seems better than nothing. Who am I talking to today? When it comes to people, one person said, settling is being with someone you do not truly want to be with, but you're committed out of a sense of obligation or fear. And way too many of us, and way too many times in life, we settle. And God has sent me with this word today to move you out of your settled place into his settlement. God's settlement is a divine placement. It's a supernatural positioning. It is a place of peace and power and glory where you experience a favorable outcome in all of the matters in your life, spiritual life, your health, your employment, your career, your relationships, whatever, your home. God's divine settlement is where you are preserved and you are protected in your promise. You are established and permanently secure in your heart, in your mind, and in your faith. And in our text that I read, those 4 verses, we find a man by the name of Jacob. And Jacob finds himself out of his divine settlement. He has instead settled back into a place where his parents came from. God had already told his father Isaac and told his grandfather Abraham to leave their country and to leave their family, to leave everything they knew, and to embark on a journey of faith that would lead them to a blessed and prosperous land. That they would become inheritors of this land, that they would become fathers of many nations. And even Abraham, and although he believed and he moved forward, he was also tempted to end up in a place where he would settle called Haran. Anybody know about that story? And God allowed him to settle there for a minute. But then God said, remember what I told you? I told you to leave this region. You're still in the same area. This is not where I placed you. You got to go. He had to wait till his father died because his father went with him before he left the place where he was settling that God never told him to go. And I'm wondering today, what's attached to you that needs to die so you can get to your settlement? I want to know, what has God got to allow to die in your life so that you can stop settling in the place he never called you and get you to the place he has called you? God help us. And so, like his grandfather, Jacob is spending some time right now in our story in a settled place. Look at your neighbor and say, he's in a settled place. Oh, God, Jacob, what are you doing here? And like him, we all must go through a process from being settled in the wrong place to going to an unsettled on our way to our divine settlement. Let me say that again. That we have to get out of this is a journey. You got to get out of the settling place, and you got to move through a journey that is unsettled till you get to your divine settlement. Anybody know what I'm talking about? How does Jacob get into this settled place that he's not supposed to be at? Oh, y'all gonna like this. You know how Jacob got there? Fear. Ooh, I only got a few minutes, but I got to talk about it. Fear. He is running from something or someone. When we find ourselves in a settled place, it's usually because of fear. We are afraid of something. We are fearing somebody. We are fearing something. And so we always end up settling for less when the spirit of fear is in the midst. Look at my back. What kind of questions when this spirit of fear rises? You know the questions that we ask ourselves. What if no one else wants me? What if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I can't pay my bills? What if something happens to me? Anybody ever thought that? Jacob, like many of us, afraid of the threat. When you focus on the threat instead of God's promise, you'll always settle. Jacob had the birthright and the blessing. Remember, his brother sold him the birthright because he despised it and he didn't see the value of it, that God had put him first and had put him in line to receive the blessing. And he didn't see that as important. He'd rather have food than have the birthright. He'd rather have his physical needs met than have the birthright. So Jacob is running, yet he's running and he doesn't even realize he has the birthright and the blessing. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. If you have the birthright and the blessing, y'all got the birthright and the blessing. I'm telling you today, you have the birthright and you have the blessing. If you have the birthright and the blessing, the enemy can't kill you, Chris. If you have the birthright and the blessing, the enemy can't stop you. The weapon that he does formed against you shall prosper. There's nothing he can say to stop you. The problem is Jacob is running from something without realizing he has a birthright and a blessing. Oh, God, help us. When you don't know what you have and you don't know who you are, you're always running fear. Fear has him in a settled place. My question to you today, does fear have you living in a settlement that's not from God? And if fear is driving you, you will end up settling. Anytime you don't want to wait for God's best and you become impatient, you will settle in a place that God never designed for you to be in. Here's the other thing. Settled place has Jacob dealing with and working with toxic people. It happens to be a family member. I know y'all don't have any toxic family members. It has him hooking up with a man named Laban who, watch this, is using him for his own personal benefit. God help us. Because when you are in a settled place, you are with people who are using you. You are with people who are taking advantage of your skills and your talents and your time. You are promoting somebody else's riches and honor. They will use you. They will mistreat you. They only want you around so they can milk you. You end up spending the majority of your life making a name for them and building their house, and you don't have nothing to show for it. God help me. In a settled place, you are in the wrong place, and you have ended up with the wrong people. When you're in a settled place, and I'm talking about Jacob's life, not only are you hooked up with the wrong people like Laban, you end up marrying people you never wanted to. God have mercy. I'm trying to stop y'all. He ends up with a wife that he didn't even want. Because when you're in a settled place, you will end up hooked up to people God never told you to hook up with. Oh, I'm going there, y'all. You end up sleeping with the wrong person. In a settled place, you end up sleeping with the wrong people. You end up being lied to. And lastly, you end up being kept there longer than you should. God, I'm speaking about Jacob's life, but I'm talking to somebody in here today. You end up fighting battles that you shouldn't even be in. God have mercy. I don't know about you, but I need to get out of the settled place. The settled place ain't no good for me. But at some point, you have to wake up. Jesus, hallelujah. Jacob had to wake up and realize it's time to go. Look at your neighbor and say, it's time to go. I got to get out of here. I got to go. If I stay in the settled place, I'll always be struggling. You gotta go. I gotta go. I'll always be struggling if I stay here because nothing is ever going to change here in the settled place. In the settled place, it's always going to be toxic. This is not my destiny. I gotta make plans to go. Anybody making plans to get out of a settled place? Look at your neighbor and say, I'm going. Oh, help us go, God. Jacob didn't make up his mind on his own. God helped him to make up his mind. God came to him and said, Jacob, it's time to go. It's time to go back to the land I gave you. It's time to go back and live in the promises that I gave you. It's time to go back and function in the destiny I gave you. It's time to move and go. Why did you come here? It's you've been here too long. Go back. Oh, help us, God. This is not my promise for you, Jacob. This is not my divine settlement. This is not my place of blessing for you. It's somewhere else. It's not here. You have to go. Look at your neighbor and say, you have to go. So here, Jacob, I'm trying to finish, y'all. He starts to go. Jacob is starting to go. I love people who tell me, I know I shouldn't be in this situation, and I know I need to get out of this situation, and I know I've been in it too long, and I'm ready to go, and I'm just waiting. Stop waiting, go. Thank you. Stop waiting, go. That's what Jacob had to do. Listen, oh God, this is so good. You waiting for everything to be perfect and everything be right before you go. And God is telling you today, everything's not supposed to be perfect. Everything not going to be lined up. Everything not going to be right like you think it should be. You just got to make plans like Jacob did. And you got to get to stepping. You got to go. You just got to go. On your way going, I'll work it all out. I'll open the door. I'll take care of your needs. You just got to go. Oh, God. He starts to go. He's just going. Listen, he didn't even tell his Uncle Laban that was using him. He didn't even tell his Uncle Laban, I'm cutting out of here. Watch this, because you can't tell everybody when you get ready to go. You can't wait till everything is perfect, and you can't tell everybody when it's time to go. You just got to do what the old folks used to do in the church I grew up. I don't know what that one finger was for, but I guess it told everybody I don't mean to step out, but I got to step out. I'm on my way out of here. I don't need to tell you why. I got some business I got to take care of. You just got to go. Jacob Jacob put that finger up. And Jacob talked to his wives, and he said, I got to go. So yeah, you can't tell everybody who's trying to hold you back what you're about to do. Just leave. Look at your neighbor and say, just leave. Look, see, it wasn't perfect. They didn't know he was going, but he wasn't worried about that. He just left. The second thing happened as he's on his journey. He wasn't aware that his wife, Rachel, had stolen her father's idols. But that's okay. He was still going. Because when I make up my mind, I've had enough, I've settled too long, I'm going. I don't care who doing what. And you might be unaware that the ones that you love have idols in their life, but still you need to leave. Wow. Just leave. Also, you might have to deal with the reality that Jacob dealt with, where he was being chased by someone who could harm him. But he didn't care. He still left. You might be confronted, this is what happened to Jacob, with the fear of why you ran in the first place. Because your brother who wanted to kill you because you stole his blessing was coming with 400 of his men. But you still kept going. You didn't say, I'm done in the settled place. I don't care. I don't know what's going to happen over here. But I don't even realize I got the birthright and the blessing. So he couldn't kill me if he wanted to. But what I do know is I'm not going back to the settled place. See, there's a risk that you take, but you don't care when you've been settling too long in a place that God never called you to. He's on his way. The one that you thought you had to have, they end up leaving you, but you still go. His love of his life, Rachel, ends up having the last son, and she ends up dying. That was the love of his life. He still kept going to the place God said, go to. He said, I'm not stopping until I reach the place God promised me. Where I am now is not the divine promise, but at least I'm on my way. Tell somebody, I'm not at the divine promise, but I'm on my way at least. See, because some people are still sitting in the settling place. Some people still hanging out in the settling place. Some people still playing games in the settling place. But I'm telling you, I might not be in my divine settlement, but I'm on my way. I'm on my way, I'm on my way, I'm on my way. I'm not settling no more. I left Mesopotamia. I left Syria. I received the name even of my new settlement. God have mercy. Y'all didn't hear me. He had to wrestle with an angel, and the angel said, I'm changing your name from Jacob to Israel. Now, Israel was going to be the name of the land that the people go into. Israel was going to be the name of the people. Before he came into his divine fulfillment, his divine settlement, he had to become it before he came into it. He didn't wait till the land, the buildings were built and all the people were there and said, now you're in Israel. He said, when you, on your way, I'm finna change your name. On your way, I'm finna tell you who you are. On your way, I'm finna bring you already spiritually into the land that I already gave you. I got it in, y'all. Don't ever go back and live or settle in the land or the place that God brought you out of. It is not God's promise for you. It is not God's best for you. You will not grow there. You will remain unproductive there. You will not reach your destiny there. You will not affect the nations and families of the earth there. You will not prosper there. You will die young there. You won't be able to dream there. Your relatives will hold you down there. They will use you for their benefit. God has to move you, take you from settling in the familiar so he can put you in your own land, in your own settlement, so that you can grow and expand. Is anybody ready for their divine settlement? Is anybody ready to grow and expand beyond all of these settled places around you? God says he wants to bring his people into a divine settlement this day. Just like he wants us to prove him When in regards to our finances, he wants us to be brought into his divine settlement and no longer settle in a place that he never called us to. Bow your heads.